Please stand for the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Kenny?
Here.
Ms. Blystein?
Here.
Mr. Bromhall? Mr. Evans?
Here.
Ms. Iacone? Mr. Meeker?
Here.
Ms. Trompe?
Here.
Ms. Topps?
Here.
Ms. Fitzwater here. Statement is hereby made that adequate notice of this meeting was given by submission of said notice to the Burlington County Times, the Courier Post, the Cinnaminson Township Clerk, and the district website on the following dates: March 3rd, 2023, March 28th, 2023, January 17th, 2024, and June 7th of 2024. Mr. Kenny, can I have a motion to convene into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we're now in executive session.
All right, we're going to look at your Chromebooks, yeah, and we're going to head down.
Something, but yes, we've got to update. Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm sorry. Yep.
Give it 2 more minutes. All right. Good evening. Welcome to the Board of Education meeting. Mrs. Trompe, can I have a motion to come back into the
Public session?
public session? My
So
brain's
moved.
not here.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're back in public session. All right, we've got some business to do before we get to the rest of you folks, so we'll get that out of the way very quickly. First, we have Section 4, routine business. We have A, the Secretary's report for April 2024, the Treasurer's report for April 24, the receipts and appropriations adjustments for April of 24,
Bless you.
the monthly transfer report for April of 24, the high school activities report for May of 24, the food service management cost performance statement for May of 24, the certified bill list as of 6/6/2024, the approval of minutes, the special meeting of May 28th, the regular meeting of May 7th, the executive session of May 7th, and the executive session of May 28th. Mr. Evans, can I have a motion to approve Section 4, items A through H?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Meeker?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 5, routine matters. We have the enrollment report as of June 7th, 2024, the health report for May, the fire alarm for May, the crisis drill report for May, and the superintendent's monthly report. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. There's a first for everything, and according to my calculations, this is the first time we've ever had a public board meeting in this forum. So thank you to our maintenance and custodial staff for making this come together so quickly. It looks great, and it feels great to be in such a big room and having such a great audience. First, I'd like to start by congratulating all of our award winners tonight. That's the fun part of this meeting, and we're looking forward to doing that in just a moment. This is the time of year where we're doing lots of recognition and congratulations. So I did want to give a shout out to all of our musicians who performed in various concerts throughout the district, both vocally, band concerts, and strings as well. We also had our art shows in all of our schools and our field days, and thank you to all of the teachers who helped organize that and put that together. I'd like to also publicly, for the first time in this forum, congratulate Mrs. DeSimone, who will be transitioning to Cinnaminson Middle School as principal, to Mrs. Melcher, who will be transitioning to the Director of ELA Instruction, and Mr. Matt Prokopka, who will be the district's new Director of Science Instruction. We congratulate them on their new roles. This time of year, I always say it is a sprint right up until the very end, with something happening every night and every day, and sometimes multiple things happening at once. We had a wonderful ceremony in this room last week where our student seniors were giving out their awards and scholarships. Very well attended event, and congratulations to them, and thank you to Ms. Julie Leitz and Matt Prokopka for putting together such an amazing event. That was followed by the Hall of Fame, which we'll hear about in just a little bit from our high school representative. That morning we brought back the senior breakfast, and then senior breakfast is followed by senior night, which is followed by senior day, which was today. Today was also the walk down memory lane, which is a great tradition that we started just a few years back here in Cinnaminson, where all of our 207 graduates took an opportunity to hop onto buses and get together as a class and go through the halls of New Albany, Rush, and the middle school for one last time. And if you haven't had an opportunity to get onto social media yet, today we'll have a number of posts. The kids were just absolutely fantastic, cheering, yelling, and screaming for all of our graduates who were modeling, what the end of all of this is for them. So it was really a great event, and thank you to Mrs. Melissa DiClemente for helping to put that together and organize that. And finally, it is graduation season, the culmination of why we do all of this. It started yesterday with our life skills graduation, and thank you to Mr. Patty McNamara and the life skills teachers who put together a really amazing ceremony for their students. This Thursday will be our 5th grade promotion ceremony, where 214 5th graders will end their elementary career before moving on to Cinnaminson Middle School. Next Monday will be our 8th grade promotion ceremony, where 231 8th graders will be welcomed as new students to Cinnaminson High School. And finally, the big show on Tuesday will be senior graduation day, where 207 seniors will go off into the world with our well wishes. So thank you all for being here this evening. It's a pleasure to have you. And with that, Mrs. Fitzwater, that is the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Fleistein, can I have a motion to approve Section 5, routine matters, items A through E?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Tops. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Tops?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 6, the student representative reports. For the high school tonight, we have Drew Pallett.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. May's Golden Apple Award recipients are Miss Tamara Beatty, nominated by various students, and Miss Monique Bogus, nominated by Isabella Di Carvalho. May students of the month are the following students: Class of 2024, Shane Razes; Class of 2025, Michael Crandall; Class of 2026, Ethan Schreier; Class of 2027, Emmy Keyboards. The baseball team finished with a record of 14-9, also making it to the first round of the playoffs. The softball team finished with a record of 19-9, made it to the second round of the playoffs. Golf finished with a season with a record of 14-3 and made it to the semifinals of the Group 2 South Jersey playoffs, also winning the BCSL championship. The boys tennis team ended with a season of 12-7 in the first round of the state tournament, with the team wins were 4-1 against Wall Township. Drew Harvey picked up his 16th win, while Evan Kozik and Davi DeBrito Melo picked up their 13th win at singles. The boys volleyball team finished with the season impressive record of 23-7 and a trip to the sectional semifinals. The girls lacrosse team ended their season with a record of 12-5. They were able to clinch the division title for the second year in a row. The boys lacrosse team ended with a record of 11-7. Last weekend, Victor Mira and Eddie Fry took third place in their respective events. Both will advance to the Meet of Champions on Wednesday at Pennsauken. The CHS Play Unified Track team wrapped up their season at Cherry Hill West with a tremendous performances by all. Isaiah Williams and Isaiah Phillips took first in their 100-meter heat. Freshman Kieran Gallagher ran his first 400-meter race. The team wrapped up the great season by taking first in the 4x100. Special congratulations to our seniors, Josh Flores, Gabe Garcia, Alex Stewart, and Isaiah Williams on their outstanding performances all season. To celebrate AAPI month, students were able to participate in various events. Chef Kane taught the students how to make kimchi pancakes and make connections to other types of fermented foods and savory pancakes that they have eaten in their countries. Students were also taught a mini lesson on how to play the ukulele by Mr. Bacon and Dr. DeSalvio. Junior Emma Gwynn taught Chinese calligraphy to students who learned how to properly hold a bamboo brush and prepare it for writing and learned how to write words luck and friend. The AAPI Affinity Group, led by Stella Driscoll and Selena Hagstad, also held a movie night after school and chose Crazy Rich Asians for its positive representation of Asian people and their cultures. The new officers were elected for the 2024-2025 school year on Monday, June 3rd. The officers for the class of 2028 will be elected in the fall. Congratulations to all new officers. Congratulations to this year's CHS inductees to the Hall of Fame of the class of 2024. Alex Arnold, Bentley Bramhall, Caitlin Colfer, Mitchell DeLesio, Madeline Hubbard, Lun Zhang, Samantha Keyboards, Kayla Meenan, Andrew Mosey, Drew Paulette, Gabrielle Sickler, and Aiden Underwood. Their hard work, dedication, and commitment is remarkable. The seniors are winding down their tenure at CHS. On Tuesday, June 11th, they started their day with graduation practice and then had the highly anticipated walk down memory lane during which they revisit each Cinnaminson school in their caps and gowns, led by the CHS marching band drumline and the pirate mascot. The day ended with senior day at Laurel Lane's, signed yearbooks, and had lunch. Senior night was on Monday, June 10th at the Madison. Graduation is on June 18th. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2024. I would now like to introduce Gwen Chikonsky as the Board of Education Liaison for the 2024 to 2025 school year. Is she here? I'll read the last part. Okay.
Drew's keeping the seat warm for you tonight.
Yeah. This year's liaison, Maddie Hubbard, wanted to leave this message for the Board of Education. Although I cannot be present at the meeting tonight, I wanted to say thank you to the board for an amazing school year as the high school liaison. It has been a privilege to come to each meeting and give updates on the activities at CHS. I've enjoyed meeting and working alongside the members while learning more about the school system. Thank you once again for this incredible opportunity. That's all I have.
Thank you, Drew, and good luck to you as well.
Thank you.
As well as Maddie. You can take that message back to her. And welcome. We look forward to seeing you here next year. All right, now we'll hear from our middle school representative, Kathy Vo.
Good evening. Cinnaminson Middle School is proud to announce its Students of the Month for May. Congratulations to 6th grader Ava Goldstein, 7th grader Samantha Patel, and 8th grader Jared Lorenzo. On May 17th, Cinnaminson Middle School participated in its annual Fitness Frenzy Day, engaging in various activities that promote physical, social, and mental wellness. Students danced to tunes from the DJ, raced around the track to the cheers of their classmates, and were awarded with tickets throughout the day for showing pirate pride and excellent sportsmanship. A special thanks to the PE department for organizing such an enjoyable event for the middle school students. On May 21st, CMS hosted its annual People's Choice Award ceremony. Students were nominated by staff members for their displays of Pirate Pride core values and for making a positive impact on the Cinnaminson community. Congratulations to this year's award winners. On June 5th, Cinnaminson Middle School hosted its second annual Cabaret Night. The student performers, stage crew, and Miss Singman put together an entertaining evening of outstanding talent. The event was well attended by families and fellow CMS students. The 8th graders enjoyed a fantastic luau dance on June 7th. They enjoyed a lot of food and a visit from Mr. Frosty, great music and prizes. Thank you to all the CMS teachers who chaperoned this fun event. The 8th graders also had an amazing time at Great Adventure on their class trip yesterday. Finally, thank you for providing me this wonderful opportunity of reporting at the monthly Board of Education meetings. Have a wonderful and safe summer.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you for your service as well. We're going to section 7, presentations. First thing we're going to have is student recognition awards.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Gorman up onto the stage, and he'll begin the first presentation. Bear with us for just a second as we get that set up.
So I have the privilege this evening of starting our presentation by recognizing our 2024 valedictorian, Samantha Keyports. Samantha, if you want to join us up on the stage, we'll brag about you just a little bit. Samantha will graduate from Cinnaminson High School with an overall GPA of 107.8. During her time at CHS, she took 22 honors and AP courses and scored a 35 on the ACT. Samantha's interests are varied and equally as impressive as her academic accomplishments. She has participated in Interact, Mock Trial, French Club, Drama Club, Debate Club, Global Economic Forum, World Affairs Council, the Food Pantry, Math League, Physics Olympics, Homecoming Committee, and Prom Committee. For those that are counting, that's a 5-breath introduction of activities. She was inducted into the National Honor Society as a junior, has served as the class treasurer for all 4 years, and was awarded the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy in French, has held leadership positions in several clubs and organizations. Samantha is also a talented athlete. As a junior, she was a varsity member of the track team. She has been a 4-year member of the varsity swim team and a 4-year member of the field hockey team with 3 years on varsity serving as team captain as a senior. Finally, Samantha is a 3-time recipient of the Burlington County Principals and Supervisors Award, which recognizes the top students in 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. This means that she won that award in every year that she was eligible. Samantha is an exceptional individual and a truly deserving valedictorian. Next year, she will continue her education at Haverford College, where she will study art and chemistry. Congratulations, Samantha. Please allow me to continue to celebrate excellence by announcing our 2024 salutatorian, Lun Jiang. Lun will graduate from Cinnaminson High School with an overall GPA of 105.975 while taking 21 honors and AP courses during his time here. He also scored a 1560 on the SAT. While a student at CHS, Lun was very involved in a variety of clubs and activities. He was a member of the Math League, Mock Trial, French Club, Spanish Club, Gender Equity Committee, Global Economic Forum, World Affairs Council, Debate Club, Drama Club, Battle of the Books, Amaranth, Interact, and Physics Olympics. He was inducted into the National Honor Society as a junior and served as the NHS president as a senior. He was awarded the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy in French and has held leadership positions in several clubs and organizations. Lun is also a very talented musician. He has been a member of the concert band, marching band, pep band, pit orchestra, jazz band, and saxophone quartet. I do believe that is all of the possible bands. He was a member of the Western Burlington County Honors Band and on alto saxophone for 3 years and was a member of all South Jersey Symphonic Band as a senior. Next year, Lun will attend Dartmouth University to study cognitive science. Congratulations, Lun. Please allow me to introduce Mrs. Jones and Ms. Oliver to present our next awards.
Good evening. Mrs. Oliver and I have the pleasure of honoring some of our New Albany students. If you are here from New Albany, if you can make your way up to the stage, please. All right, they all made it on that step. The first set of awards that I'd like to honor are, each year, our art teacher, Lisa Knaus, along with the Cinnaminson Fire Department, work on a fire prevention poster contest. The kids do such an amazing job, and we don't find out the results for months. They do this project sometime around the time frame of October, and then we find out in about March. So they do this, they forget about it, they don't even remember sometimes what they draw. However, we then present them as winners for this contest. So the first person who I'd like to present this to is Alan Vajda. The second student is Emelina Mazan. She is an MD first grader, and her artwork actually advanced to the state level. Unfortunately, Emelina is unable to be with us this evening. Next up is a first grader, Subira Atinga. She drew an amazing, beautiful picture, which she actually got to bring home with her. So congratulations, Subira. The next young lady is a second grader, Evelyn Curran, who advanced to the county level with her artwork. So congratulations, Evelyn. Our next group of leaders are our second grade pirate leaders. We have a wonderful group of second grade students selected as pirate leaders. These students were chosen by their teachers for demonstrating leadership skills and showcasing a desire to help others. The leaders met with Ms. Moeller once every month to discuss important school-wide events such as the Week of Respect, the Great Kindness Challenge, and Social Emotional Learning Day. Students gave ideas on how to improve these events and offered feedback from the student perspective on how to make our school an amazing place. Our leaders learned which qualities they have already that make them excellent leaders and which qualities they can continue to strive to have in the future. Thank you to the pirate leaders for your hard work and dedication to New Albany School. We cannot wait to see all the amazing things you will accomplish, and you will definitely be missed. From Miss Burson's class, Juliana Bullis. Tristan Rajapakshi. Hunter Trillo. Karina Waters. From Mrs. Fike's class, Bryce Gribben. And Laurel Kearney. From Mrs. Martin's class, Evelyn Curran. And Damian Freeble. From Mrs. Catani's class, Gabe Manzanillo. And Abigail Wolfram. From Mrs. Engel's class, Avery Lieback. And Landon Linton.
Oh, big fan club, Landon.
From Miss Nelson's class, Parker Gleason. And Juliet Naylor. From Mrs. Fike's class, Nora McInnes. And Dominic Paoletti. From Mrs. Reese's class, Juliana Burns. From Mrs. Sutton's class, Charlie Boyce. And from Mrs. Sutton's class, Riley Schmid. And we will have Mrs. Carrie DeSimone from Rush School to come up next.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so first up, we have our fire prevention poster contest winners. The theme this year was Cooking Safety Starts With You. So even in K through 2, 3rd through 5th, we're already getting them set up to take over the kitchen later. In our 3rd grade, our first place winner was Amelia Nagel. Echo. All right. In 4th grade, our first place winner in Ms. Halley's class was Amelia Onashenko. And our 5th grade winner, who is also advancing to state and happens to be the daughter of the vice principal of New Albany School, Brinley Oliver. Yeah. At this time, can I have my Battle of the Books 5th grade students come on up? So the Battle of the Books is a contest in which students form teams. They are assigned 15 chapter books to read among the team, and most teams are made up of about 5 to 6 students. They are broken up, those books are broken up among the teams to read, and it's then their responsibility to really remember many details about the books that they are reading. They are asked up to 50 questions, and they have to identify the title of the book along with the author of the book and spell them correctly, which can be definitely a challenge at times. So congratulations to our 5th grade winners who went on to the county level. They are Mia Belger in grade 5, Mrs. A. Kelly and Ms. Young's class. Lilia Marshall in grade 5, Dr. McAllister and Mrs. Hess's class. Chloe Namnan in grade 5, Ms. O'Flynn and Ms. Cleary's class. Good job, Chloe. Sophia Onashchenko, grade 5, Ms. O'Flynn and Ms. Cleary's class. Adriana Stellwag in Ms. O'Flynn and Ms. Cleary's class. And finally, Victoria Valentine in Dr. McAllister and Mrs. Hess's class. Can I get the whole team up with you? They work together. Come out of the, you're in the dark there. Congratulations, they came in first in our school with about 30 other teams competing and went on to the county where they did not quite get to that top prize, but they did an excellent job with a lot of 6th grade teams. So once again, congratulations to our girls. Okay, and next up, I'd like to introduce Ms. Kristen Melcher from the Cinnaminson Middle School.
Good evening. As we transition here, any Cinnaminson Middle School students who are here in attendance this evening, please make your way up to the front, and we will have you up a little bit closer to the stage as we call your name for your respective awards. All right. It is my pleasure to present our first group of award winners at CMS with certificates for winning this year's VFW Patriots Pen Essay Contest. This year's theme was, How Are You Inspired by America? And a special thanks to Bill Barretts, who is here this evening from the VFW to recognize our students. Congratulations to first place winner, Mary Quinn. Second place winner, Sean Rinkowitz. And third place winner, Dean Katsakis. Our next presentation is for the New Jersey Technology and Engineering Educators Association Garden State Greens Design Challenge. Project Challenge teacher, Mr. Bacon, encouraged students to participate in this year's statewide competition, which challenged students to design a miniature golf hole that highlighted a significant historical event in the state or town they were from. The students had to then create a scale model of the mini golf hole and also produce a digital design portfolio to document their work. These young ladies decided to feature the Jersey Devil in their award-winning project. I'd like to invite them up together. Congratulations to first prize winners and co-creators, Ella Jordan and Isabella Cerullo. Our next set of awards are for the Battle of the Books school level winners in grade 6. Also worth noting in public, these students are the ones responsible for defeating our staff team in a sudden death competition in preparation for the county battle. Congratulations to Julia Sellers, Avina Patel, Colin Kohler, Anthony Bracco, James Hannings, and alternate Raffaele Silva Stein. I'm sorry, and Grace Bazilla. We would also like to congratulate our school level winners in the grades 7 and 8 division. This identical group of students was recognized at last year's board meeting, and I hope they have the desire to stick together and compete for one more year at CMS because they're all in 7th grade. So congratulations to Hayden Byrne, Benjamin Campbell, Grace Campbell, Brendan DeBarberry, Anna Greenberg, and Hannah Sides.
Go Heaton. Nice job.
The last group of students I have the pleasure of recognizing this evening are an elite group of 8th graders who have maintained the principal's list for every marking period of all 3 years of middle school. This is truly an impressive accomplishment. Congratulations to Gavin Bobrick, Samantha DeBarberry, Maggie Guinan, Shay Golbin, Mia Hamill, Reed Hobson, Braden Hoffman, Jackson Lane, Jared Lorenzo, and Adrit Mukherjee. Next up, Cinnaminson High School, presented by Mr. Gorman and Mr. Wilkinson. And Dr. McCann.
I didn't see you there.
Those students that are joining us here from the high school, if you can join us up on the stairs, same routine. Mr. Barrett is joining us again to recognize the VFW Voice of Democracy essay winners. In first place, Buki Mustafa. In second place, Kellen Kohler. And in third place, Grace Gonzalez. Sorry. Yeah. Mr. Barrett. Please let me introduce Dr. McCann, who will read our next rewards.
All right, so first we have some really talented musicians we're going to recognize. For All-State Mixed Choir, Sam Bobrin. And for All-State Treble Choir, Kim Mason. And now we have some really talented athletes we're going to recognize. So for boys lacrosse, first team, both all division and all Burlington County, Ian Blue. All right, next one's here. Let's get ready. Shane McDevitt.
All right, Shane. I'm sorry.
And Sadi Gant. For both girls lacrosse and basketball, all division first team BCSL for lacrosse, as well as being the NJ.com BCSL Basketball Player of the Year, Ava Stantinovich.
Congratulations.
Also a girls lacrosse player, both an all-division first-team BCSL player and a South Jersey honorable mention, Megan Nelson. As you can see, we had a talented girls lacrosse team. Girls lacrosse all-division first-team BCSL, Eva Barbic, Riley Fadala, Surrey Horner, and Grace Gonzalez. Moving on to boys baseball. LC Charles Smith made both the all-division first team and won the Carpenter Cup. Also for boys baseball, both the all-division first team as well as winning the Carpenter Cup, Noah Harvey. And boys baseball all-division first team, Anthony Alessandroni. All right, girls softball, both all-division first team for the BCSL as well as winning the Carpenter Cup, Madden Rittler. And for girls softball, all-division first team BCSL, all South Jersey as well as winning the Carpenter Cup, Hannah Derbyshire. And for girls softball, both all-division first team BCSL and all South Jersey, Delaney Kroll. And for girls softball, winning the Carpenter Cup, Ellie Zarnowski. For golf, all-division first team BCSL, Ryan Gibson and Tyler Harris. Boys volleyball, all-division first team BCSL, Nasir Page and Andrew Zemecki. Oh no. Girls track, all-division first team for the triple jump, Shiloh Moore. And girls track all-division first team for the 400 hurdles, Kellen Collar. And girls track all-division first team for the 100 hurdles, Jordan Flunder. And girls track all-division first team for the 1600 meter, Anna Marino. Golfers, you're right on time. Come on back. Here we go. All right, golf. All Division First Team BCSL, Ryan Gibson and Tyler Harris.
Come on up. Sorry, I messed you all up. I got excited I got here. All right. Come on over here and take a picture. Perfect time. Come on over and take a picture.
All right, back to girls track. All Division First Team for Javelin, Rachel Blindberry. And for boys track, both All Division First Team for the 4x400 relay team and All Division First Team for the 100 meter, James Logren. And boys track, All Division First Team for the 4x400 relay, as well as All Division for the First Team for the 1400 meter, Jacob Wickersham. Boys track, All Division First Team for the 4x400 meter relay, as well as the First Division, All Division First Team for the 400 hurdles, Josiah St. Elaine. Nice work. And boys track, All Division First Team for the 4x400 relay team, Ryan, I'm going to butcher your last name. Ryan. That's it. You heard it? Ryan is not here, right? All right. Scaricacciatoli. All right. Boys track, All Division First Team, 3200 meter, Brandon Smith. And boys track, All Division First Team for the triple jump, Henry Stewart. There it is. Boys track, All Division First Team for the high jump, Derek Robinson.
Waiting so patiently.
Very nice. And boys track, All Division First Team for pole vault, Edwin Frey. And boys track, All Division First Team for shot put, Victor Mira. All right, that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate all of you, especially the young ones who stayed for the entire presentation. Hopefully, early on when you saw our valedictorian and salutatorian, it gives you something to aspire to a day. Appreciate you all being here. Mrs. Fitzwater, can I ask we take a very brief recess?
Ready? All right, and we're going to be back in session. Mr. Capello?
All righty, thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater, and good evening. The crowd has thinned considerably. For those of you who are sticking around, I'm very excited to share and introduce this next presentation for you. At this time, I'd like to welcome Ms. Sherry Spear to the stage. Also, Ms. Kate Johnson and Ms. Maureen Wade, if you would join her, please. As has come up at this forum for a couple different meetings, we're very excited about our inroads that we are making in our full-day preschool program. And here with our very first update on our long road to getting there is Ms. Sherry Spear and her team from the preschool to talk a little bit about where we are as a district. So with that, Mrs. Spear.
Good evening, and welcome to our presentation on our recent preschool expansion. I am Sherry Spear, Special Projects Administrator. This is Mrs. Maureen Wade, Ms. Kate Johnson, two of the current preschool teachers. In September 2023, we had 2 sessions of integrated pre-K classes. One was offered in the morning and one was offered in the afternoon. Mrs. Wade and Mrs. Johnson co-taught each class with assistance from Mrs. Gleason. In each class, there were 15 students with the maximum allowed at the time of being 18. But we had goals for expansion. We wanted to expand our preschool program because high-quality preschool can change the educational trajectories of young children and influence their lifetime achievement and well-being. Improvements in children's kindergarten readiness leads to increased achievement and school success with such benefits as increased earnings that continue for a lifetime. In January 2024, the New Jersey Department of Education announced a second round of grant opportunities for school districts that were interested in developing their preschool program. Mr. Capello, Dr. Goulburn, Narelle Gersick from Camden County Educational Services, and myself had a meeting on January 5th to discuss the application process, brainstorm ideas, and begin to develop a plan. The grant outlined that we would open a free, full-day program to all 3- and 4-year-olds currently living in the community. Maximum class size could be 15. Each classroom had to have a minimum of 950 square feet, including a bathroom. If a bathroom was not available in the classroom, one had to be in line of sight from the classroom doorway. The program had to be offered as a complete full-day program. Most importantly, the program needed to be up and running before the end of the school year. Throughout the following week, I diligently worked to complete the application, which included a narrative piece that involved answering 54 open-ended questions, creating a floor plan of the classroom and the possible layout, and developing a detailed budget spreadsheet as to how the money would be allocated. I submitted the grant on January 12th. The grant application covers the preschool expansion over the next 5 years. One goal of the grant is to provide full-day preschool to 90% of the community's 3- and 4-year-olds. The 90% is based on our current kindergarten and first grade population added together and then 90% of that total. 90% of our current kindergarten and first grade population equals 358 students. This year, we were able to open 2 full-day preschool classrooms. Those 2 classrooms will remain open during the 24-25 school year. Our goal as a district is to open at least 1 more preschool classroom in January 2025. As you can see, over the next 4 years, ending in the 28-29 school year, 90% of our population would be reached with 24 classrooms. The problem is that right now, we don't have the space for 24 classrooms in any of the buildings in Cinnaminson. We will continue to look at other options available to us to expand the physical space of our preschool program. On March 4th, 2024, we received a confirmation letter from the Department of Education that our grant application was approved and the race began. From this point forward, we needed to have everything in place by our planned opening date of May 1st. During the month of March, administration held meetings with the current integrated pre-K parents to let them know we were awarded the grant, and beginning on May 1st, their children would be moving from a half-day program to a full-day program. These parents were also informed that as part of the grant award, they would be receiving a refund on all of the tuition that they had paid thus far this school year. The preschool team met weekly to prepare for the opening. During this time, all of the materials, furniture, supplies, and classroom displays needed to be ordered and delivered prior to opening. Thank you to Mrs. Bethany Sanders for efficiently and meticulously procuring everything we would need to open. The two current preschool teachers, Mrs. Wade and Mrs. Johnson, will be split between the two classrooms to provide a level of stability to the students. 2 additional teachers and 1 additional ed assistant needed to be hired during this time. The preschool teachers worked diligently to develop a full-day schedule that met the requirements of the grant and also aligned with the current preschool curriculum, High Scope. Ms. Tomkowitz, our transportation director, was able to develop new routes and make buses available to ensure that our students could attend during the newly scheduled hours of 9:30 to 3:30. She did all of this within a matter of days, and we are incredibly thankful. Mrs. Lisa Frederick, our food service manager, worked alongside Mrs. Kate Asaya to develop a plan for ordering and tracking lunches per the state's requirements. Lastly, in order to obtain the grant money for the current year and for next year, a 3-year plan as to the development of the preschool program was written. Quicker than any of us expected, May 1st arrived. After ordering materials, furniture, staffing our new classrooms, moving and relocating classrooms to other classrooms in the building and across the district, with open arms, we welcomed our first free full-day preschool class of students. It was a gloriously sunny day, and as you'll see in the next few pictures, the day was full of excitement and smiles. Our returning and new staff, including Kate Johnson, Maureen Wade, Krista Russell, Leandra DeMiro, Lydia Gleason, and Colleen Shaw, welcomed the children to their classrooms. Some students rode the bus for the first time. Some students entered a new classroom for the first time. Most importantly, both the former AM and PM sessions of students finally met each other. My most favorite moment from that day was when the students were talking about all the new friends that they had made from the other class.
All celebrate and have a good time. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time. It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on. It's a celebration. To last throughout the year. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
Now that you're all going to have that song stuck in your head, I apologize. I would now like to introduce Mrs. Wade and Mrs. Johnson that will explain our preschool schedule and the curriculum in place.
Okay. Hello, everyone. 2 years ago, and after much research, the preschool team worked together with their supervisors to choose a curriculum. We chose High Scope, which is a state-approved curriculum, And so the schedule you're looking at right here shows the different components of high scope. High scope, the principal element of high scope, and the reason that we chose it is because it is active participatory learning. So meaning the kids have choices, the kids reflect on their learning, the kids plan their learning. Well, some of it. We plan a lot. So Maureen, do you want to go through some of the schedule?
So the first part of it is they do come in and I unpack. A lot of high scope is them taking initiative for their own learning and their own being self-sufficient. So they do come in and unpack by themselves, and then they do plan for what they're going to do in their work centers. It's part of the high scope program, so they kind of start off by planning on what they just want to do, but then you'll see it evolve through the school year. It's actually kind of cool. They'll come in and they'll wait for a friend to come in so they can have a conversation and be like, hey, do you want to go to blocks today? Or do you want to build with magnets today? Or should we draw? So they kind of start to plan with a friend, or they say, oh, I started this yesterday and I want to finish it today. So it's talking a lot about the language. So they do come in and do that, and then they sign in by finding their name, a lot of name recognition, and then learning to write their name. And then it goes into greeting time, which essentially goes with calendar, but they do greet each other, learn how to say hello, learn how to meet new friends and introduce themselves. And then it goes into our large group, which some days it's letter introduction, sometimes it's phonemic awareness, and things like that. And then our full day, we go into snack, and with the long day, we are able to have 2 recesses, which is nice. So we do have a shorter recess in the morning to give them a little bit of break, but also part of the high scope is to have gross motor play and learning how to, again, plan with their friends for outside time and how to work together and share outside as well, which they do. You can see them having conversations with that too. They come out and, plan what they're going to do outside and what they're going to play as a group. Then when we come back in, we have one of our small groups. A lot of time we rotate with that. It's usually like a math and a comprehension and a fine motor, where we rotate through those. Sometimes there's art, there's an art day, there's a science day. We incorporate a lot of our academic skills within our small groups. With the 15 kids, we usually run 3 small groups, so it's nice because there's only 5 kids or so in each group. Then it goes into another large group, which sometimes is music or a game of some sort to learn some more skills. We now have full lunch in the classroom. They can order lunch from New Albany, and it comes over, and they have lunch with their friends. Then there is the a rest time where they do have mats. Some of them fall asleep, some of them just have quiet time activities that they can do on their mats. And then we have a longer recess outside after that. Then we do another planning, and it kind of connects to the morning. They can kind of think about what work center they want to do for that day, or what they want to do if they want to change it for the afternoon that they were planning for the morning. Then another round of small groups, another more academic skills, whether we tie in more letter work or writing skills or more math skills. And then work centers. Work centers is big from high scope. Essentially what it used to be called was play centers, is what it looks like when you walk into the classroom. They have choice of art center or science center or math or building, housekeeping, things like that. That's what they plan for. That's what they choose and they plan for. But essentially it's play-based learning. They learn how to work with a friend, how to problem solve, how to, count the blocks as they're working. So they're learning academic skills and social skills and emotional skills through their play in their work centers. And then they clean up and then they recall. It's not just playing and ending. Then they come together and they talk with a friend, or they talk as a whole group about what they did in work centers. Sometimes we have a focus skill on who did you work cooperatively with today, or who ran into a problem and how did you solve it today. So we kind of reconvene after work centers to kind of talk about the skills that we learned and things that they did in work centers. And then that's kind of the end of the day. We do maybe some music or a read aloud, some goodbye, and they pack up and get on the bus. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. We have a good time doing it. Yeah.
Next year, we look forward to involving the community and parents in the development of the preschool program. Also, an advisory council will be developed and have quarterly meetings. There will be a schedule of health-related topics that the students will be taught and shared with families to work on together at home. A preschool instructional coach will be available to assist the teachers and the students with any possible instructional needs that may arise as the school year begins. The students will also have new outdoor equipment to use and play on. Some of these pieces will help with imaginative play, collaboration, and building relationships. As you are aware, we have limited building space in Cinnaminson. As much as we would like to expand our program quickly, we are restricted. All structures must be permanent buildings. Classrooms must meet specific size and room requirements. In order to build our program, the district has applied for a physical expansion grant from the New Jersey Department of Education. Under the Preschool Facilities Expansion Grant Program, school districts are eligible to receive at a minimum 40% of approved eligible project costs. Districts must be able to demonstrate local matching funds for the balance of the project costs. Approvable projects would be limited to those that expand a current educational facility and renovations of existing facilities with limitations. Specifically, these will only be allowed if the district can demonstrate sufficient capacity for other grades and that the renovation would result in a net increase in available preschool seats. We hope to hear soon if we have been awarded this grant. Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yes, and I would just like to finish up by thanking the team. As Ms. Spear identified, the timelines and the goalposts set for us by the Department of Education created rather quick turnaround on our ability to be able to apply for the grant and then subsequently implement the grant. We did have a special meeting of the board recently so that we could approve our grant submission in an attempt to be able to apply for a grant for some facility expansion. So there's definitely a continuing conversation with our community. I think there is little doubt, though, that we can't picture a world in Cinnaminson where we didn't have kindergarten, non-compulsory education programs that do so much for foundational knowledge for our students. And I'm hopeful that one day we will not be able to picture a Cinnaminson without free full-day preschool programs for all of our 3- and 4-year-olds. So thank you, ladies. We appreciate your presentation.
Okay, we're moving on to Section 8, correspondence to the board. I know that myself and a few board members at least have gotten some correspondence concerning Board Policy 2431. Anyone else get any other correspondence this month?
No.
Okay. Moving on to Section 9, committee reports. We have 3 committee reports this year. This month. More than that this year. The first one's going to be Finance and Personnel Committee. Ms. Livingood?
This is Fitzwater. The Finance and Personnel Committee meeting took place on Tuesday, May 21st at 9 a.m. via Google Meet. The personnel portion of this meeting was to review staffing for the 24-25 school year. Mr. Capello discussed new positions, vacancies, filled positions, and leaves of absences. During the financial portion of this meeting, I reviewed the RFP for a food service management company. One bidder responded, which was Sodexo, and they were awarded the contract at the May 7th Board of Education meeting. The committee also reviewed meal prices for this upcoming school year. The 24-25 breakfast and lunch prices are on tonight's agenda for Board of Ed approval. Finally, I reviewed the submission of the preschool construction grant application. This application was submitted, and as soon as we receive a response from the DOE, I will update the full board. The next meeting of the Finance Personnel Committee has not been scheduled at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Livingood. Now we'll hear from the Policy Committee. Mr. Evans?
Yes, thank you. Our last meeting was on Tuesday, May 20th of 2024. It was online via Google Meet at 8 p.m. The committee reviewed policies related to homeschool students and participation in extracurricular activities. The committee discussed a document that was assembled that contains arguments for both sides of a homeschool policy change. The exhaustive document was curated from questions from all board members. The committee ended the meeting without a recommendation for changes, but with a commitment to elicit feedback from the full board. The next meeting has not yet been scheduled.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. We'll also hear from the Curriculum Committee, Ms. Trompe.
Thank you. The Curriculum and Student Activities Committee met on Wednesday, May 29th via Google Meet. The committee reviewed a new course proposal from the Special Education Department for the Cinnaminson High School students in the MD program. The committee was briefed on the curriculum updates to math and ELA to align with the new state standards. The committee also received an overview of the process for determining HIB grades. Lastly, the committee was informed that official NJ GPA scores have just been received and will be shared with the staff and families this week. An official Board of Education presentation regarding NJ GPA performance will take place at our next scheduled board meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Mr. Meeker, can I have a motion to approve the Section 9 Committee Reports, Item A?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Blystein. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Topps?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 10, Public Comment on Agenda Items. Members of the public are reminded that comments should be limited to items appearing on this meeting's agenda. There will be another opportunity during this meeting to comment on non-agenda items. All members of the public wishing to speak on agenda items only should raise their hand to indicate their wish to speak. When called upon, participants should state their first and last name and address clearly for the record. There is a microphone up front. In accordance with Cinnaminson Board of Education Bylaw 0164.6, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will be limited to 30 minutes in duration. With that said, do we have anyone who wants to comment on agenda items this evening? Come on up.
Well, you mentioned 2431, but it's not on your agenda. So does that qualify? I would think so.
If you'd like to speak at this point, you certainly can, Mr. Self.
Hello, my name is Doug Lassell, and I live at 104 Cuthbert Road. At the March 19th, 2024 meeting, which for those listening can be found on YouTube if you search for the Cinnaminson Township Public Schools account, I spoke with some of my family and friends regarding the BOE Policy 2431. For anyone in the audience or watching via live stream, I encourage you to watch the YouTube video of the March 19th meeting starting around the 55-minute mark. It may add additional context for my remarks tonight. At that March meeting, my family and I asked the Cinnaminson Board of Education to amend Policy 2431 in order to allow homeschooled students living in our district to participate in extracurricular activities. Activities such as sports teams, clubs, dances, etc. Since the March 2024 Cinnaminson Board meeting, the Policy Subcommittee met at the end of March, and at least one more time, to my knowledge, over the ensuing 3-month period. Our superintendent, Mr. Capello, has confirmed to me on at least one occasion that Policy 2431 has been discussed by the subcommittee. In addition to discussions within the subcommittee, Mr. Capello has told me he has reached out to school districts in Burlington, Camden, and Gloucester counties relating to Policy 2431. I believe he also confirmed this in some remarks he made in the April 2024 board meeting. I appreciate the work that the policy subcommittee and Mr. Capello are putting in, but I'm starting to question why this process is taking so much time. As my son said to me last week, are you in favor of the policy change or against it? All those in favor vote aye. New Jersey allows school districts to include or exclude homeschoolers as they see fit. There are dozens of school districts in our immediate area that allow homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities. Some are small, municipal-centric districts, and others are large, regional districts that are fed by multiple municipalities. In trying to assist all of you on the Board of Education, I invited the Fox family and Mrs. Ellen Wiest from Maple Shade to speak at the March 2024 board meeting. Ellen Wiest, being a former school board member from Maple Shade for over 20 years, was integral in changing Maple Shade's Policy 2431 to allow homeschoolers. Ellen told me Maple Shade's approach to amending Policy 2431 was novel and simple. They amended the policy with a one-year trial period. By giving the policy a one-year sunset clause, they were able to be progressive, all while working with the community they serve and their staff in the school district. They purportedly voted unanimously to amend Policy 2431. From the time the Foxes made the request publicly to the time the Maple Shade School Board voted on the amendment, I'm told it took 3 months. After a one-year trial, the Maple Shade School Board decided to permanently accept the policy change in order to allow homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities. This highlights one community in our area, directly adjacent to Cinnaminson, that made the successful change to allow homeschoolers to participate in extracurricular activities. If you are a board member sitting on the days this evening, the blueprint is already laid out for you in Maple Shade. I encourage you to take action now. 3 months is plenty of time for your discussions and research within the subcommittee. I would like a timeline on when the subcommittee plans on making their recommendations, if any, to the board, and when a vote is expected by the Board of Education.
Mr. Sell, that's your time.
I will be up here at the general comment portion to finish my talk. Could you suspend the rules for 30 seconds?
It has to be the same for everyone. Sorry.
Robert's Rules of Orders, you can suspend a rule at any time.
Well, we're following our policy.
I'm sorry.
I understand, but you run via Robert's
Mr. Sell,
Rules.
please continue.
Thank you. I've offered and will continue to offer the board members and our administration any time for discussions and participation through email, phone calls, and at this podium. And on behalf of my family and those in our community who will benefit from this policy change, I want to thank my friends and neighbors who have reached out to the Board of Education and offered their opinions and insights on amending Policy 2431. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sell. Any other members of the public who would like to comment on an agenda item this evening? Sir?
John Oliver, 112 Acadia Drive. A couple of things. One is we thought the meeting was at 7, and when we went over to the middle school, we saw the sign. As we walked in or walked back from the door, a number of other cars pulled in, 2 being parents of children that were getting awards. It's disappointing. I don't know how the information was transmitted, but it wasn't good for the general public. And I felt very bad for those 2 sets of parents. So that's something to, traditionally, and it's important to make sure that things work in a regular pattern so that people, they have other things going on in their lives. You want them to come out to the meetings. You need to be available and make sure that you're consistent with making people aware. On an agenda item for the preschool, and again, I don't know if I missed part of this because we walked in a little bit later. One, what were the other programs that were considered? How was the choice made for high scope? Where are the preschool classes that are going to be added going to be? And if there's 60% or therearound that the board's going to facilitate to make this happen, how will that money be raised?
Sir, thank you. I appreciate your comments, and I can certainly schedule a follow-up with Ms. Spear and our preschool team about the curriculum item, but more specifically to address your concern about physical locations of the classroom. So as you may or may not be aware, we've slowly been reclaiming the educational space at Memorial School, which once upon a time was a decommissioned school.
Right.
We've been able to retrofit that space into our buildings right now, and our plan for the next phase of expansion is to reutilize some office space that's currently being used for office staff and relocate them out of the building, which we would be able to do with budget money that we had put into this year's budget to counterbalance the 60%, with our own employees doing most of the reconstruction of that space. We have some talented craftsmen that have saved the district a lot of money by being able to do that work in-house. So we're not talking about the kind of large-scale brick-and-mortar construction, but rather retrofitting some existing space and taking better advantage of the space we have at Memorial School.
So in the midst of the extra funds that would be needed, that would be just part of the regular general budget?
Correct. We budgeted some money, and we have some money in our capital improvement to be able to do some of these projects in-house, correct?
And then the staff would be new as well?
Correct. Staffing is covered by the preschool grant that we got from the state. So that is, these are monies that have been made available to our district to help cover the staffing. Where the state falls short is being able to provide us with the money we would need to do the square footage expansion. So that's where we have to be creative on our own. They made this next round of funding available, but it certainly isn't enough funding where we would be able to go out and build the 24 classroom expansion that we would need to fully fit our universe. So at this time, as Mrs. Spear indicated during her remarks, we are working with partners from throughout the community and looking at every alternative that we can, because I don't know about you, but I feel silly leaving possible funding on the table from the state that would help to provide the teachers, staffing, and materials to provide full-day kindergarten. So.
Great. With the staff, and they were saying about how decisions were made, was there a committee that reviewed these programs?
Sure. I mean, so the curriculum for our preschool program has been in existence prior to this expansion. We've had a part-day preschool program for some time. We do have a curriculum committee.
So high scope was already implemented?
That is correct.
All right, so there's no change there?
Correct.
Who decided that there shouldn't be a change?
Well, I mean, we have an adopted curriculum by the board that we adopt and then re-adopt. Every year, the board has a subcommittee curriculum. And, I'd be more than happy to continue this conversation. And really, this time is reserved for comments to the board, not this kind of discussion. So if you'd like, I could meet with you as early as tomorrow, and we could have this conversation together. I can answer any of these questions, or I'm always happy to respond.
Well, there is a committee, there is a curriculum committee from the board, correct? I guess that's where I'm going with this. The curriculum committee, were they involved in the process of, using the word expansion, so you're making this a little bit bigger than what it's been?
Correct, sir. I mean, just like when we went to like a full-day kindergarten, we add another section of first grade. We're expanding upon what we already have. So again, I'd like to invite you to come and continue this discussion with just you and I. If you have some specific concerns, I'd love to hear them, and I invite you to share them with the board as well. But really, this forum is meant to offer comments to the board and not to engage in this level of discussion.
That's fine.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate your comments.
Hi, I'm Edie, Winwood Drive. I looked at the budget that was published, and whoever's doing that, thank you. This is the first time in 3 years I've seen a budget published. And I'm a little concerned because I see $1.6 million of unspent funds in special education, and there are parents that are struggling to get extended school year services for their children. It's very concerning, and it continues to be concerning that is the last thing, and it's a constant fight. I'm going to be up there. I'm one of those people that are fighting for that. I cannot get extended school year services that are appropriate for my child, but we have $1.6 million of unspent funds in special education. It's disheartening. I'm not the only parent that's going through this struggle. Parents are talking to each other. They are exchanging information. I think it's time to consider that. How is that being administered? How is that being looked at? What are the choices that are being given to the parents? The only choice we were given is the MD program. That is not an appropriate program for our particular situation. That is not a program that our daughter would ever fit in. It might be great for other students, it just doesn't fit into her. Why is that her only option? That's it. If you can consider that, that would be great.
Thank you, Ms. Popovsky. Any other members of the public comment on the agenda item at this time?
Okay, we are moving on to Section 11, Personnel, Certified and Non-Certified. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section 11, we're going to move through this rather quickly. Letter A, seeking that the board approves the following appointments, and as we mentioned, it is hiring season, so we're looking under certificated staff, letters A through O, and under non-certificated staff, letters A and B. So seeking the board to approve item number 2 and item number 3. Under transfers, seeking the board to approve items number 1 through 3 as listed in the agenda. Under resignations and retirements, there are 4 of them that are in the agenda for the board's approval and consideration this evening. Under letter D, extra duty appointments, seeking the board's approval on items 1 through 19. Under letter E, leaves of absence, seeking the board's approval on item number 1 and 2. All employees listed by employee number there. Nothing under letter F or letter G or letter H. Under letter I, student teachers, seeking the board to approve student teachers numbers 1 through 3 as listed in the agenda. Under letter J, substitute teachers, seeking the board to approve items 1 through 3, and I should note that there is a typo in there. The 4th item should say 4 instead of the second 2, so those items are listed in the agenda. Nothing under letter K or L. We do have 2 memorandums of agreement with labor associations, seeking the board to approve items 1 and 2. And Mrs. Fitzwater, that is personnel.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Topps, can I have a motion to approve Section 11, Personnel, Certified, Non-Certified, items A through M?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Meeker?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to section.
Can I take a second?
Yep.
So we have a fun tradition here in Cinnaminson at our board meetings. When we hire new staff, we love to invite them to come out to a board meeting to say hello. I didn't realize this evening they get treated to such an awesome board meeting, but this is always, of any of them to come to, this is the one to come to where we celebrate our students. So at this time, I'm going to pass it over to members of our administration who are going to introduce some of the folks who have joined us here this evening. And we will go as we normally do in student birth order. Mrs. Jones?
Student.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to introduce 3 new staff members. First up, we have Madison Sarkasy. She is a recent Rowan graduate. She does hold a dual degree in elementary education as well as a reading specialist certification. She will be joining our first grade team. Welcome, Madison. Next up, we have Ashlyn Kalicki. She is a Rutgers Holy Family graduate. She also holds an early childhood as well as special education dual degree, and she will also be joining the first grade team as a special education teacher. And finally, we have Caitlin Durham. She did a long-term sub position with us this year as a STEM teacher, standing in for Mrs. Oliver, and we are happy to have her also join our first grade team. Caitlin is a Rutgers graduate, and she also holds a dual degree in elementary education as well as psychology. Welcome.
Okay, so I have 3 with me as well tonight, also coming to Rush School. Yasmin Farhat. Yasmin is a very recent 2024 graduate of the Rowan University's Martinson Honors College. Congratulations. She has a bachelor's in elementary education and literacy studies, and she will be joining our 4th grade team teaching literacy and science. Next up, we have Ms. Paige Miller. Paige is a 2017 graduate of Westchester University with a dual bachelor's in early childhood and special education. She has spent 7 years teaching kindergarten, 2nd, and most recently 4th grade in Beverly. She will be joining our 4th grade team to replace Mrs. Crane, who has now retired. Welcome to the team. And last but not least, we have Ms. Haley Gutowski, who is a Cinnaminson High School graduate and a soccer phenom. She went to Rutgers University. She first graduated from Temple with a bachelor's in early childhood education. She got her master's at Rutgers in New Brunswick in special education. She was a preschool teacher this past year in Donnellan, is that how we say it? Okay. And she will be joining our special educator team at Rush School in 5th grade. Congratulations, Haley.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Brandon Cresci. He is going to be joining the middle school math team. He earned his bachelor's degree from the College of New Jersey and is coming to us with 10 years of professional experience, the last 8 of which were in Haddon Heights. Welcome to CMS, Brandon. Also, we are introducing tonight Miss Erin Daly, who is going to be a middle school language arts teacher. She earned her bachelor's and master's degrees from Rutgers University and has 2 years of professional experience from the Collingswood School District. Welcome to the team, Erin.
I think I get the prize. We have 5 joining us from the high school tonight. We'll be starting with Kate Forte, who is joining us from the Magnolia School District with degrees from Salisbury, the University of Maryland, and a master's from Rutgers. Yay, Rutgers. Science, did I say science? Science. Amanda Mason is joining us also from Collingswood, a graduate of Temple University. She'll be teaching math at the high school in the fall. In our English department, we have Iris Archer, a graduate with a master's and a bachelor's degree from St. Bonaventure. She'll be teaching English. Welcome. High five. Shannon Morris will be joining us from the middle school. She'll be in the PE department, and she is a Rowan graduate.
Thank you, Mr. Berman. I'd like to introduce Amanda Noda Tennant. She'll be joining us at the high school teaching Spanish. Amanda has studied at SUNY, University of Delaware, and Rutgers University. She studied Latin American literature, Spanish education, and studies in Latin American theater. She has a wide range of experience from middle school, professor at universities, and most recently a bilingual program at Juntos, a family center in Camden. So we're happy to welcome her to the Spanish family.
Mrs. Fisher, if you could please remain standing for just 1 second for the board. We all know Mrs. Fisher is our supervisor of world language. Earlier this evening, she was approved to now transition to be the director of world language, ESL, and performing arts instruction. Congratulations. Okay, and I believe we may have one more individual. Also earlier this evening, the board approved one final position. Mrs. Mealy, if you would please stand up. I'd like to congratulate Mrs. Kate Mealy, who will be transitioning from the assistant principal position at the Rush School to the principal position. And since everybody is doing ESPN-style stats and reading, some of Mrs. Miley's background, she's been with us for the last, I said Miley, I meant Mealy. For the last 5 years, she has been in her position at the Rush School, previously serving the Haddonfield School District. She is a graduate of Drexel University and has a master's degree from the University of Pennsylvania. We are so happy to have her here with us, and I know she's going to do a great job. And Mrs. Mealy, if you'd like to say anything, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but that's what I do. We're very excited for you. Thank you. Before we move on, did I miss anybody? Anybody else working here next year? Ms. Fitzwater?
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to curriculum and instruction. Dr. Goldberg.
Thank you very much. Under number 12, letter A, requesting board approval of number 1, the professional development requests that are attached. Letter B, the field trip requests that are attached. Nothing under letter C this month. Under letter D, curriculum, numbers 1, 2, and 3. Letter E, the monthly HIB report. Letter F, the monthly suspension report. Under letter G, these were previously approved at the September board meeting for submission to the NJDOE, and they have since been approved. So approval of the HIB school and district level grades for the previous school year. And under letter H, approval of the district submission of our 3-year bilingual plan. And those are the requests this month, Mrs. Fitzwater.
Thank you, Dr. Goldberg. Mr. Kenny, can I have a motion to approve Section 12, curriculum and instruction, items A through H?
So moved.
Second? Second. Thank you, Mrs. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Meeker?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 13, Special Education. Mr. Capello.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under letter A, contract, seeking the board to approve an agreement with the Union County ESC to provide home instruction from May 20th, 24th and June 30th, 2024. And under student placement, seeking the board to approve a revised tuition contract at Garfield Academy for a student listed in the agenda from March 5th, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. And those are the items under special education.
Thank you, Mr. Capello. Ms. Trompe, can I have a motion to approve Section 13, Special Ed, items A and B?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Topps. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Mr. Meeker?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. We have no policies this month. We're moving on to Section 15, Business and Finance. Mrs. Livingood.
Thank you, Mrs. Fitzwater. Under Section A, grants, we have nothing tonight. Under Section B, finance, we have that the board approves the 22-23 certified tuition rates as attached, and item number 2, that the board approves the mileage reimbursement request for staff members as attached. Under Section C, operations, item number 1, that the board approves the 24-25 meal prices as outlined below. Item number 2, that the board approves the 24-25 calendar for all maintenance, grounds, custodial, and transportation department staff as attached. Item number 3, that the board approves the discarding of district telephones via surplus sale through GovDeals is attached. Item number 4, that the board accepts with appreciation donations from the below establishments for this district staff recognition program. Captain Chucky, the CHS Student Store, DiVincenzo's Pizza and Restaurant, Garrison Architects, Juanita's Mexican Cuisine, Nick's Pizza and Pasta, Primo's Hoagies of Cinnaminson, Smoothie King of Cinnaminson, Starbucks of Cinnaminson, Sweetwater Bar and Grill, The Jug Handle Inn, Tony Soprano's Pizza, and Wealth and Income Solutions. That the board accepts with appreciation the donation of 720 toothbrushes to students at New Albany and the Memorial School from Arm & Hammer. And that the board accepts with appreciation the donation of $113.21, which are remaining funds from the completed Eagle Scout project to the New Albany School from Ryan Melanowski. Under Section D, contracts, item number 1, that the board approves a 1-year contract extension for custodial services to ACB Services for the 24-25 school year is attached. Item number 2 is that the board approve the revised 24-25 anticipated professional service contracts as attached. Item number 3, that the board approves a joint transportation agreement between Cinnaminson Board of Ed and Cherry Hill Board of Ed, retroactive from September 7th, 2023 through May 31st, 2024. And item B of transportation is that the board approves the renewal of the joint transportation agreements for special education summer schools, special education winter bus routes, and public, non-public, and vocational schools for the 23-24 school year is attached. Item number 4, that the board approve the appointment of Frank Cavallo Jr. from Parker McKay as school solicitor at the hourly rate of $185 for attorneys and $95 for paralegals for July 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024. Item number E, letter E, that the board approves the settlement agreement and release in regard to the student and agreement as per attached. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Livingood. Mr. Evans, can I have a motion to approve Section 15, Business and Finance, items A through E?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Trompe. Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Topps?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to other business, the Safe Return Plan update. Dr. Goldberg?
Thank you. The Safe Return Plan is required by the American Rescue Plan law to be updated every 6 months, and we believe this is our final update and requesting board approval of that update.
Thank you, Dr. Goldberg. Ms. Fleistein, can I have a motion to approve Section 16, Other Business, the Safe Return Plan update?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. Comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. Ms. Topps?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Moving on to Section 17, Public Comment. During the public comment section of the meeting, the board will seek public comment on any item. Members of the public are reminded that if they wish to speak when called upon, participants should state their first and last name and address clearly for the record. In accordance with Cinnaminson Board of Education Bylaw 0164.6, comments will be limited to a maximum of 4 minutes per person. The comment period will not exceed 30 minutes. With that, is there anyone who wants to make any comments?
Edie again. So as you all know, I work in finance. So when it comes to money, that's my concern. We've lived in Cinnaminson for 3 years, and we've had an increase every year for school. So although the town likes to praise and pat themselves on the back how they're not doing tax increases, the school does them every single year. I would urge you to really look at that, because it affects every one of us that lives here. A lot of people can't afford that. Like, it's easy to say, yeah, sure, let's raise it. How about we look at our budget holistically and see where we can kind of reallocate, rearrange, and do better? We do it all the time. We do an operational excellence exercise at work every year to see how we're spending our money. Do you? Do we really holistically look at that, or do we just like to raise funds every year because that's the easiest way out? That's a concern to me. So this new increase, there's about 7,200 homes in Cinnaminson and raise an additional $1 million. That's the tax money that you just raised. It's an additional $1 million. So that raise, where is that going? Where is that $1 million going to be allocated? How is that going to be spent? Because I'm sure that it's going to be added to my tax bill whether I like it or not, but how are you spending it? It was raised last year 2% too. Where did that go? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pawlowski. Any other members of the public who would like to speak on any items?
Okay, we'll move on to section 18, comments from the board. Mr. Kenny?
Congratulations to all of our award-winning students. You're an inspiration to us and to others, and we are proud of you. Congratulations to all of our students and staff on another amazing school year. Big thank you to everyone for coming out tonight, and thank you to those from the audience who spoke during the meeting. A thank you to all of our local businesses for their continued support of our school district. Best wishes to all of our graduates and to all of our students who are moving up this year. The next regularly scheduled meeting is August 27th, beginning at 7 p.m., tentatively in the middle school cafeteria. More information can be found on the district website. Have a great summer, everyone. That's it.
Mr. Kenny?
Thank you, Mr. Kenny. We are going to move into executive session. We do have, we may have an action item afterwards. We may have an action item afterwards. But right now, we're going to move into executive session probably for 30 to 45 minutes.
Correct.
All right. Mr. Meeker, can I have a motion to convene into executive session?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we're going back into executive session. Thank you all for coming out.